Hey there, it's Tank Girl, and today I have a Nokia Nuron to unbox. I don't know if unbox is the right word. This has been pretty heavily opened up before, and you'll see there's actually some packaging missing. So I'm certainly not the first one to get my hands on it. This has been sitting around for about 10 days. I've been super busy with a whole bunch of stuff, including the iPad, and so it's about time I bring this to you. So the Nuron from T-Mobile and Nokia. So here's what's in the box. As you can see, there's that layer missing where the phone was in its little cardboard thing. And as you can see, this is very, very similar to the Express Music 5800. Just white and, of course, missing a whole bunch of features. I'll get to that in a second. But let me just give you the outside tour so you can get familiar with this. So let me also quickly cover what's in the box before I get into details about this. I'm going to turn it on since the battery's in there so I can show you some of the differences here. Ta-da! Alright, so you'll hear it start up in the background. In here we have the obligatory AC adapter. Standard Nokia size AC adapter. So what's interesting about the Nuron is just like the Express Music 5800, it only charges with the Nokia plug. It does not charge over USB, even though it does have USB. So this is the charger. This is a little plectrum, whatever it's called, the guitar pick for the touchscreen, because it's a resistive touchscreen. Of course, you can make that into a lanyard if you want. And then the only other thing that's in here are white headphones. Judging from the number of connections, it's got a microphone built in, so you can take calls with this. So that's all that's in the box, but as I said, the box was opened by someone else than me. There is probably some manuals in here. Let me have a look and see if I can pull these out. Sorry for the noise out there. Yeah, so this has also been open, and it's just basically the safety and regulations stuff. There's nothing else in here. So let me put away the box, put away the accessories and all that, and focus on the phone a little bit. I have here the Express Music 5800. As you know, there it is. This phone came out a year and a half ago or so. And it at the time was basically the first phone with Symbian touch, and I've had it for quite a while. I reviewed it, check out my blog. Now, this was a pretty fully featured phone. It has 3G, has Wi-Fi, has a 3 megapixel camera with autofocus, GPS, front-facing camera, as you can see right up here. Basically the works. Not the highest spec from Nokia, but certainly a pretty high-end device for something that was built mid-end. And then the Nuron takes all that and removes a bunch of stuff. So what does it do? It removes the front-facing camera. It replaces the 3.2 megapixel autofocus camera that has a flash with a 2 megapixel fixed focus without flash. And also this has Zeiss optics. This does not, obviously. It removes one of the stereo speakers. Let me see if I can show you that. So it's mono. So there's the speaker right here, and as you can see here, there's one speaker here on the top, and another one down here on the bottom. So we go from stereo speakers to mono. The camera that's downgraded, the front camera is missing, and the biggest thing that's missing, there's no Wi-Fi on this. So this is called the 5230 in Nokia's nomenclature, whereas this is the 5800. The chassis is very similar, but they are different devices. However, I think that's unfortunate because T-Mobile. This is the first and only Symbian device with a touchscreen from T-Mobile, from Nokia, that has the bands for T-Mobile 3G, AWS 1700, 2100. As you can see here, 3G. So, it's not, this is really a year-old device that has been downgraded and given T-Mobile AWS 3G. But that's basically what we're looking at. So it's not the most compelling. Now, what it does have on its side is that it's really cheap on contract, and that the data plan for this phone, this is a smartphone, a fully blown smartphone with GPS and a whole bunch of apps. The data plan is only $10 a month to add on to a voice plan. Unlimited. Now, that's pretty impressive. So theoretically, you could walk into a T-Mobile store today, buy this phone with a 2-year contract, and get a $10 a month unlimited data plan that presumably should work, say, on a Nexus 1 or an N900 or any other 3G device on AWS T-Mobile compatible 3G in the US. Let me just show you comparisons a little bit. So it's going to be difficult here because there's a bit of glare, but let me see. So here you can clearly see the similarities. Power button, charger port, 3.5 millimeter headphone connector, and then the USB door. It's a micro USB plug back here. And here you can see speakers, the 2 openings for the SIM card and the SD card. And on the bottom, you know, basically the same layout. This is missing, the Nuron in white is missing the stereo speaker. Let me see if I can do this with one hand without losing it. So the bottom is identical. The microphone port is in the same spot. Here on the side you have camera button and the lock slider and the volume keys. And now, of course, the camera button on the 5800 is double detent because it's got the autofocus feature, whereas this one is a single detent. So you just press on it once and it takes the picture. But as you can see, very, very similar devices. In fact, I have the camera running here right now, and this one is asleep, so I don't think it started the camera. So yeah, same screen, which is NHD resolution, which means it's 640 by 320, I think, or something like that. It's kind of widescreenish. So yeah, I'm disappointed that they didn't go for the full 5800. If they were selling the 5800 for the same price as the Nuron, with T-Mobile 3G, you know, you'd get Wi-Fi, you'd get a better camera. It'd be almost worth the cheap price and the cheap data plan. But this is such a crippled phone, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel. I'm sure the 2-megapixel camera is half decent. Nokia has done some really good 2-megapixel fixed focus cameras in the past. And not to mention the 5800 camera was a pretty big disaster. I mean, it's got Zeiss, it's autofocus, it's got a flash, it's 3-megapixel, but the sensor is so poor that there's a ton of noise, even in day shots, and it's pretty much all but unusable in my opinion. So yeah, there it is, the T-Mobile Nuron, aka the 5230 from Nokia. So I'll play with it a little bit and return it and let you know what I think. Let you know how it is to live without Wi-Fi and without the decent, well, it wasn't that decent that I just mentioned, but without a full-fledged camera. It was just a basic 2-megapixel fixed focus. I have a feeling it might actually be a better quality camera overall, just due to the fact that the sensor can handle more light. That's my theory. Anyway, that's it. The Nokia Nuron. Cheers.